Talk about pulling defeat from the jaws of victory. A win was just 1 out away yesterday in Detroit. But now the Indians limp home after an 0-9 road trip. The Tribe desperately needs a win as they host Minnesota, but that's not going to be easy either. Minnesota has now won 7 of their last 10 games. Indians need some home cooking. Next on Sports Time Ohio. Back home in downtown Cleveland, Ohio, the Indians return for a homestand tonight as they open up against the Minnesota Twins right here on Sports Time Ohio. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. The Indians coming off a historical road trip in which they lost all 9 games. And yesterday, the final loss was almost typical. When you look at how the thing unraveled, they hadn't had a blown save. I mean, Chris Perez really hadn't had any chances to pitch. And he got his opportunity. 2 outs, nobody on base, and the roof fell in.
It was an amazing victory for the Tigers, and it was a tough one, a back-breaking loss for the Indians. A lot of positives in yesterday's ball game, except the guy that has been reliable for him all year long gives up the game-winning home run to Cabrera. There were 2 outs, nobody on base. They had a 3-run lead, and then what happens? You give up 5. You got to go back to the 70s for the last time that happened in extra innings when you're talking about 5 runs in extra innings. Tigers were playing well. That just capped off a terrible trip for the Indians. And when you look at it, there was nothing good about it. They were outscored 74-28. Their starting pitching didn't do very well. Their offense didn't do very well. All things considered, I'm glad it's over. They're at home, and hopefully they have a chance to start again fresh tonight.
Yeah, the one positive you take away from yesterday is that offensively they showed some signs of life. They showed some signs of breaking out of their funk with the bats. Let's take a look at the Nissan Road Ahead pitching matchup for tonight. Zach McAllister gets the call for the Tribe.
And Zach's probably been their most consistent starter. He's gone out there with a 94-mile-an-hour four-seam fastball, a nice breaking ball, a changeup, and what his job is tonight is go out there, keep that team in the ball game, and give them an opportunity to win.
Get to a Nissan dealer for special offers on innovation that excites. Now, Scott Diamond shut out the Indians the last time we faced him. How'd he do it, and what do they have to do against him this time?
Well, 98 pitches. He didn't walk anybody. He hasn't walked anybody in his 2 starts against the Indians this year. He's a control pitcher, a left-hander. I would like to see him be aggressive against him this year. He's a rookie. He's had a fine year, 9 wins, a very good ERA, under 3. You're going to have to go out there. They made some very good plays behind him last time. Get aggressive, look for the ball around the strike zone, stay on it, and get after it.
Well, the Indians are trying to keep their chin up and stay positive, but the only thing that'll cure what ails them now is a win. They desperately need a victory. We'll see if they get it tonight against Minnesota. We're back with the play-by-play coming up next. Well, it's a beautiful evening here at the ballpark as the Indians return home to open up this homestand with the first of 3 against the Minnesota Twins, a team that just swept them on their most recent road trip. Take a look at Rod Gardenhire's starting lineup tonight. For the Twins, Denard Span leads it off, followed by Ben Revere and Joe Mauer. Josh Willingham, Justin Morneau, Ryan Domet in the middle. Tsuyoshi Nishioka called up. He's at second base, batting in the 7th spot. Then Brian Dozier and Jamie Carroll. Visitor starting lineup brought to you by Kia.
And let's take a look at Zach McAllister, brought to you by MLB.com at Bat 12 for the new iPad. Zach making his 12th start, a 4-3 record, and an ERA of 3.42. He will be making his very first start against the Minnesota Twins. The Indians are 7-4 in his 11 starts. So Zach roughed up a little bit early in that game, didn't have as good command. So we'll see if he's got it tonight for Minnesota. Let's set the defense behind him tonight. It's Carrera in left, Brantley in center, Chu in right, Lopez at third, Cabrera at short, Kipnis at second, Santana at first, and Marson behind the plate.
The umpires tonight: Jim Joyce behind the plate, Mike DeMuro, Jim Reynolds, James Hoy. Denard Span will step in to get us underway here tonight. And Zach McAllister winds, delivers, and our first pitch in there for a called strike. 77 degrees our game time temperature. Pretty good breeze, and it's blowing straight in from center. That should help the pitchers tonight. Span's foul at the third base side. Twins leadoff man comes in batting .288 on the year, but in an 0 for 12 slump currently.
Well, the Twins continued to play well, though, after they left Minnesota. They won 3 out of 4 from the Boston Red Sox before they came here.
The 2-strike pitch hit on the ground to third, backhanded by Jose Lopez, and a perfect throw for out number 1. And even with that perfect throw, you could see at the very end,
right,
Carlos Santana had a tough time watching the ball all the way into his glove.
Well, there's that hint of sunshine coming in.
Ben Revere riding a 19-game hitting streak. A career best for the Twins right fielder. Our stat of the game brought to you by your Northern Ohio GMC dealers. A little chopper foul. Unusual in that, in addition to the 19-game streak by Ben Revere, the Twins have had 4 15-game hitting streaks on the year. Josh Willingham has had 2, and Trevor Plouffe had a 17-gamer.
Yeah, who's on the disabled list right now.
Got him looking. Nice pitch by Zach McAllister. 2 up, 2 down.
Well, Zach with the fastball away. Going to be at the knees and on the corner, right where you want it. 95 miles per hour. Nice pitch. So gets his first strikeout. As I mentioned in his last start against Kansas City, did not have good command early. He did walk 2, but he had to battle his way through it early. Fell behind in that game 4-0.
Joe Mauer looks at a first ball strike. Mauer, the Twins' DH tonight. And he's offensively in a little bit of a funk. He doesn't have too many prolonged dry spells, but just 3 hits in his last 25 at bats.
That was McAllister's first ball tonight out of his 8 pitches.
Swing and a miss. And he's ahead of ball in 2 strikes. Now the 1-2. Right back to the screen. Zach McAllister on the attack from the outset here tonight. 1-2. Up a little bit too high. Struck him out. McAllister, 10 out of his 12 pitches for strikes here in the first inning. And Minnesota goes 1-2-3. To bat here in the bottom of the first, in the Tribe starting lineup, brought to you by Progressive Insurance, proud to be the official auto insurance provider of the Cleveland Indians. Jason Kipnis in the leadoff spot, followed by Asdrubal Cabrera and then Shin-Soo Choo. Carlos Santana, Michael Brantley, and Shelley Duncan in the middle. Jose Lopez, Lou Marson, and Ezekiel Carrero.
Scott Diamond, the rookie, on the mound. Scott Diamond is having a good year. He's a 25-year-old left-hander. 6'3", 220, 9-5, and a great 293 earned run average. He's pitched 2 games against the Indians this year. He's 2-0. He has not allowed an earned run. And in 16 innings, he has not walked anybody in his 8 strikeouts. He had a complete game shutout in his last start, 98 pitches.
Jason Kipnis takes a strike. Comes in batting .262 on the year. You can see him cracking a smile after hearing the strike call of Jim Joyce. There's no other like it in baseball. That's down low, 1-1. Jim Joyce, who he lets you know when it's a strike, you won't miss it.
No, sirree.
Little chopper to second base. Nishioka has trouble with it, and then he flips himself down onto the ground when his foot came out from underneath him when he went to plant and throw. And Kipnis is aboard. Got to believe that'll be an error on Nishioka, and it is.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's a routine play, and he bobbled it, and then he panicked. And then all of a sudden he was going to go for it again, pick it up, and slipped. See where the foot gave way out on the infield, went down. It's more embarrassing than anything. It's a routine play. He was just called up because they traded Danny Valencia to Boston, left him there when they came to Cleveland, and that's not a very good play, but it gets the Indians a base runner.
And so Kipnis aboard to start the game, and Asdrubal Cabrera takes a strike. Kipnis had a good jump. Boy, he broke towards second base, took about 2-3 big strides, and then hit the brakes. I think he could have stolen it had he just kept going, but you got to be sure.
Yeah, sometimes you'll go and you don't think you had a good jump and you'll stop. Other times you take off, and we've seen a number of guys taking off this year. Usually with left-handers, you go early, and Kipnis has had a number of good jumps against lefties this year. You just guess that he's going to the plate.
Kipnis held by Morneau at first. Diamond's coming over there again. The 1-1. And Cabrera liner into right field. Base hit. Kipnis will stop at second. So the Indians have their first two on here in the first inning. And a chance to do some damage now with Shin-Soo Choo coming to the plate.
It's a nice swing going the other way. He said they wanted that ball on the inside part of the plate, and you see where Mauer reaches that glove to the outside part. Cabrera stayed on the pitch, drilled it to right field. So now a good start to the inning, first and second, and no outs. So the error got him going. See if they can take advantage of it.
And two on, nobody out. Choo steps in. 288 average, 13 homers, 41 runs driven in. And a strike called. And this is why Manny Acta wanted to move him down in the lineup, get him some RBI opportunities. Felt they could better take advantage of his extra base abilities with those 33 doubles that he has hit this year. And a line drive single into center field, but Kipnis was going back to the bag, so he'll stop at third. And they're loaded up with nobody out.
Well, they already have as many men on base as they had against them all last start in Minnesota. He allowed 3 base runners, and that was it. He hangs him a breaking ball here, and Choo hits it right back up the middle. The reason why Kipnis went back, he thought an infielder might have been able, it wasn't smoked. So he had to make sure that ball got through. He does. He has to wait at third base. They have the bases loaded and nobody out.
Well, let's see if Carlos Santana can get him rolling early now. With the bases loaded, nobody out. And a pitch down low, ball 1. Santana on the just completed road trip had 7 hits and 32 at bats. He also walked 6 times, hit 3 homers, scored 6 runs, and drove in 9. Oh, we got a new drum going over here.
It sounds different, doesn't it?
Santana looks at the ball outside. I don't believe we've ever heard that drum before.
What, do you get a new one and move? I don't even know where it's at.
Sounds like it's right below us. Maybe John Adams is sitting in a suite tonight.
It might be
right below us in the suite, you think?
I don't see him out in the bleachers. He's got to be below us.
There he is. Look. He moved him.
All right, he's in it. He is. That's a good call.
He's right below us.
Sounds different from here, doesn't it?
Bases loaded, nobody out, 2-1 pitch, and a strike is called to even the count at 2-2. Well, that's the way you change your luck, you know. Move the drum around. Try anything.
Well,
try everything.
He may be there the rest of the year.
Might have a new season ticket.
Yeah.
Chopped to third. On the bag for 1. Across the diamond. Double play. The Indians get the lead. But a potentially big inning is short-circuited by that double play.
Well, it's routine. Jamie Carroll does step on third, throw to first. You give the run, and the Indians do get a run, but that was an error.
It's an unearned run for Scott Diamond. Boy, this team with bases loaded this year is just continues to be a major problem. $18 for 93 on the year. That's well under 200. Now Brantley lines it to third to end the inning. So a potential big inning yields just one run. After one, it's the Indians 1 and the Twins nothing. Brought to you by McDonald's Cherry Berry Chiller. Cherry and raspberry flavors blended with ice and 100% fruit juice. By AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. And by your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers. 1-0 Indians on top. We go to the second inning. It will be Josh Willingham, Justin Morneau, and Ryan Domit due up for the Twins. Fastball low. Josh Willingham, 28 homers, one shy of a career best for him, but just one hit in his last 18 at-bats. Oh, that is crushed, and we are tied at 1. So much for that slump. And that 29th home run of the year for Willingham equals a career mark for him.
Yeah, he had that last year in Oakland, and he swung the bat very well against the Indians. This guy has got some power. You hang him a breaking ball, or you try and get one inside on him, and he can do damage as he does. So one swing ties the ball game up, and it's a fastball right down the middle, 92 miles an hour, and you can see the strength. He is on pace to hit 41 homers this year.
Now Justin Morneau takes a strike.
You know, that was the one thing yesterday that we talked about. Anytime the Indians got the lead, they gave it right back. That very next inning when you came out and you had a response run.
Yeah.
And that's something you cannot do as a pitcher. You got to keep that momentum going in your favor. Minnesota gave the Indians a run in the first with that error. But they come right back and they tie it up.
Popped back out of play by Morneau. And Morneau, he just smashed one out of here, and the Twins jump to a 2-1 lead. Home run number 14 on the year for Justin Morneau. Give him 51 ribbies for the season. And back-to-back home runs served up by Zach McAllister.
Couple of bad pitches, really. The fastball to Willingham. This one was a breaking ball to Morneau. His 14th home run. And watch it. There it is. They're right into the wheelhouse of the left-hander. Down and in. And we've seen him do this a number of times in his career. So they take a 2-1 lead.
And now Ryan Doman riding a 4-game hitting streak for the Twins. He takes a strike. That's hit fair. Down the third baseline. Look at it, hugging the line all the way into the corner. And Doman will stop at second with a double. 3 straight hits to open this second inning for Minnesota, all extra base hits. And even if they didn't have a shift on, I don't think he'd have made a play on that ball.
No, that's true. That's right down the line. That's a good job of hitting. You see how late he let that ball get down into the zone. That one almost hit the bag. As a left-hander, and Doman can swing the bat. Nothing you can do there. Double right off the bat. At least he kept it in the ballpark.
He's hit in 5 straight games, now 6 hits in his last 16 at-bats. Now Nishioka, who committed the error that allowed the Indians to score their only run in the first. He grounds out, but he gets Doman over to third with one away for Brian Dozier. Last time we saw Dozier, he was playing about as well defensively as you can play shortstop. After we had seen him play it about as poorly as you could play shortstop
earlier in the
before
year.
that.
That's true. He had a really good series when we were in Minnesota, and I think the whole Minnesota team did. Really, they made some good plays, especially when Diamond was over there. Casilla played second base and made a couple of gems. Well, they have the infield in trying to cut the run off.
Part of that season series against the Indians for Dozier included a 3-hit game back on May the 15th. Tied him up 1-1. There's a called strike. And he gets ahead 1-2. $20 out of 27 pitches for strikes so far for McAllister. But a couple of those strikes were in the middle of the plate, and they were hit out of here. With that infield drawn in, McAllister sets and deals, and it's fouled right back. Dozier just a nice job to spoil that 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Josh Willingham has been a tremendous sign for the Twins. He's given them that right-handed bat in the middle of their lineup to balance things out between Mauer and Morneau.
Well, they lost Michael Kadire to free agency. He went on and signed with the Colorado Rockies, so here's the addition. They put him in, and boy, they haven't missed a beat. Good pitch.
Dozier strikes out. 3 Ks for McAllister, 2 down in the inning.
He got him to chase one there. Fouled off a good fastball a pitch before, but here's a breaking ball out of the strike zone that he swings and misses. Watch him chase it. Marson sitting off the dish. That's where you want it. Got him to chase it. So now he's got a chance to get out of the inning. Jamie Carroll, one of those guys. We watched him play here. He'll usually take a strike. He's going to make a pitcher work and throw strikes. Rarely, I mean rarely, will you see him swing at the first pitch.
Marston's going to go out and talk with Zach, who blew through the first inning on 12 pitches, 10 of those strikes, set him down 1-2-3. But Willingham homered to start the second. Morneau followed with a home run of his own. Domit doubled into the left field corner. And now he's picked up back-to-back outs.
The pitch to Domit was a good pitch. He did a nice job hitting it down the line. The other two were mistakes. They weren't quality strikes.
Spun him out of the way, 3-0.
Now that they traded Valencia, who they called up to play third, Carroll will get the bulk of the work there.
He draws a 4-pitch walk.
We've seen that happen a number of times, haven't we? All right, tickets early. Buy your tickets early and save on seats for the Gaylord Perry bobblehead giveaway Sunday against the Red Sox. The first 15,000 fans through the gates will take home the 72 Cy Young Award winners bobblehead. That'll be courtesy of Progressive Insurance. Log on to Indians.com.
Top of the order, Denard Span, first and third, 2 down. Span bounced to third base his first time up. 0 for his last 13. And looks at a ball in the dirt. Cleveland back home, taking on Minnesota for 3, and then when they leave town, Boston comes in for 4, starting Thursday night. The 1-0 pitch misses, 2 balls, no strikes. Just missed inside, and now 3-0 after a 4-pitch walk to Carroll. 3 straight to Span.
He was pounding the strike zone, wasn't he? And now all of a sudden something out of whack.
Carroll takes off, and Span chops it foul over the head of Santana.
Isn't that funny? On a 3-0 count, he had thrown 7 straight balls. Now all of a sudden the runner takes off, Carroll, on a 3-0 count, and Span swings. And I figured he might take 2. But, you know, when your hitters are struggling, sometimes they say that 3-0 pitch may be your best one you're going to get on a fastball. They let him cut loose, and he fouled it off. That's interesting. 3-0. They're off and running, and they let him swing.
Carroll holds this time in the 3-1 pitch at the knees on the outside corner, full count.
That's funny. It was reversed right there on me. I thought they'd take 3-0, make him get to 3-1, and then you could start him, but no, it's the other way around.
Santana drops behind Carroll, who will be off with a 3-2 pitch with Domit over at third. McAllister sets the payoff pitch. And we'll come back and try again. Jamie Carroll went 7 for 11 against the Red Sox in their just completed series, so he's swinging a pretty hot bat. Span at the other end of the spectrum right now. Again, Carroll goes. And a roller slowly hit to second. Kipnis unloads in a hurry. Santana came off the bag too fast. Oh, man, a mental mistake by Carlos Santana, who yanked his foot off the bag clearly before he had the ball, and the first base umpire, Mike DeMuro, right on it to make the correct call.
Well, I mean, there's no reason to come off early. You're not cheating for a double play. You just need the out. You stay on the base. And you can see a mistake. That's got to be an error on Santana. An error on Kipnis. Okay. The throw brought him off the base, they say. Okay. The throw, I thought it was right there, but it'll be an error on Kipnis on the throw. So the Indians retaliate. They give him an error, keep the inning going to a very hot hitter. Not a good thing to do.
I think if you go by body language, the error is on Santana. He appears to feel like he should have been able to
it looked
stay
like
on
he
the
could have
bag.
stayed on the base. It didn't look like that throw was wide. But either way, they should be out of the inning.
Each team with an error. And it's cost each team a run. Now Ben Revere called out on strikes his first time up. That's out of play. Still in the second inning. Top half, 1-1 with 2 on, 2 out. And Revere looks at a ball inside. Revere, 19-game hitting streak. Longest since Torrey Hunter hit in 23 straight back in 07 for Minnesota. McAllister throwing an incredible number of pitches in this inning. The 3-1. And a line drive by Kipnis into center field. That's going to bring home Carroll. Span on his way to third. And the Twins have him at the corners as Ben Revere extends his hitting streak to 20 games with a 2-out RBI single here in inning number 2.
You give a hot hitter
4-1.
an extra opportunity, and I'll be darned if he's not going to come back. Let's see. The pitch is down. Look at Rivera go down and get it at 94. But 3-1 count. He's looking fastball. He gets it and laces it past Kipnis at second base. So the extra out really comes back and haunts him, and these are going to be unearned runs. And this is something that McAllister has done since he's been here. Any time that they've made an error and given extra outs, he's caved in to the situation. He's already, I think 2 more unearned runs will be 13 on the year for McAllister, and he's only on start number 11. Or make it 12. That is amazing.
Joe Mauer, the 9th man to bat in the inning for Minnesota, struck out his first time up. Well, that error charged to Jason Kipnis stops a 56-game errorless streak, though I wonder if they'll maybe take another look at it.
Well, they probably will, but either way, it's an error. I don't care if it's on Kipnis or Santana. McAllister should have been out of the inning with 2 runs. Now they've added 2 more, and they're not done yet.
In the air, left field, on the run. Carrera can't get it. It's up against the wall. 2 more are coming home for the Twins, and they are blowing it open. They've batted around here in the second inning, and it is just a nightmare for the Tribe here in inning number 2 as McAllister can't seem to get out of the inning. A 6-run eruption for Minnesota, and they lead it 6-1.
Well, Mauer, he goes that way, and there's a pitch down and in that he shoots into left center field. He gets it by Carrera. You can see it short hops off the track on the wall. 2 more come around with 2 outs, and it keeps the inning going to this man who started the inning with a solo home run. So the extra out hurt the Indians.
And Josh Willingham looks at a ball in the dirt. At the knees, a fastball strike. Down too low. Zach McAllister used 12 pitches in the first inning. This will be his 52nd pitch of the game now.
I think the home runs took a little steam out of him to start this inning off. And then he had a chance to get out of it. And then the floodgates opened after that error. And he just collapsed. It's a 40-pitch inning for him.
Can you bring some more down?
The 2-2. A little bit outside to Willingham and a full count. McAllister with the payoff pitch. Right back to the screen.
Look at that. He now leads the American League. 15 unearned runs here. This is start number 12.
Payoff pitch again. And it's ball 4. Down to first goes Willingham, and up comes Justin Morneau. And now Scott Radinsky's got to make a call down to the bullpen in the second inning. And it will be Josh Tomlin who will begin to loosen. He's the long man. He was in there yesterday in Detroit, pitched that 10th inning. Or was it the ninth? What did he put the 9th inning?
Pitched the ninth. Yeah. Yes, he did.
Got out of that
and a heck
jam
of a ninth inning too,
triple.
Boy.
Yeah. Out of play down the left side. Justin Morneau homered to right field his first time up. That gives him 9 hits in his last 16 at-bats. He had a great series for Minnesota up in Boston. 14 dingers on the year now. The 0-2 fouled away again. Once again, the 0-2 pitch. And once again, it's fouled off. Rick, he doesn't have anything, it seems like, off-speed wise that he can, get him to swing and miss at or take him off his fastball.
Well, the reason why he's going with his fastball here is because Morneau hit the breaking ball out on him, and he left it down and in. You can still, it's 0-2. You could still try and bounce one away and work it to take him off the fastball. It doesn't have to be for a strike here. What was that changeup there?
Yeah, and it missed down and in.
That's okay. I mean, he was 0-2. Boy, this inning has really gotten away from Zach here. This is the last thing that this team needs, is having to go to that bullpen again.
Well, this is going to be the 50th pitch of the inning. 50. And the starting pitchers during this losing streak, it's amazing how it continues to plague all of them as that's banged in the left. Mauer scores. On his way to third.
And going in safely there is Willingham.
I mean, every starter seems to be affected by this inability to get deep into games, to keep the other team from getting out to big early leads.
There's that high fastball. He slaps the other way. Mauer's got a high jump that pitch. He comes in to score.
That's going to be
Willingham to third, and that's it for Zach McAllister. He could not recover. He made 21 pitches since that error, and he just never got over it. Should have been out of the inning with 2 runs. They now have 7, still 2 left, and his day is over.
Yeah,
it's a bad start.
50 pitches here in the second inning for McAllister, and he is out of the ball game. Josh Tomlin's coming on when we come back. It's a 7-1 Minnesota lead, and they've got runners at first and third with 2 down, and Josh Tomlin is coming on in relief of Zach McAllister. Tomlin on out of the bullpen after he was taken out of the starting rotation, and Josh will be facing Ryan Domit, who doubled earlier this inning and will be the 12th man to bat.
Well, up to Josh. He came out yesterday, did a heck of a job. We told you in that 9th inning after giving up a leadoff triple to get out of that inning. They scored 3. He was out of the ball game, so he's back on again. It's only the 2nd inning. This is the 12th man to hit in the inning.
And up high, ball 1. Tomlin deals, and Domit drives it to deep right field, and it's gone. A 2-out, 3-run homer for Ryan Domit. His 2nd hit of the inning. His 12th home run of the year. And Minnesota making a mockery out of this one early. They lead it 10-1.
It's a 3rd home run.
Pounding the baseball.
Remember, this inning started out with back-to-back solo shots. Capped off by a 3-runner here. Now with 2 outs. Holy smokes. That is his 12th home run. 3 in the inning.
Nishioka grounded out to first. He made the first out of this inning. a long time ago. Swing and a miss. 2-1 to count. Swung on a miss, 2-2. During this skid, the Indians starters have averaged, less than 5 innings a start, and are giving up just a little less than 7 runs a game. It's staggering to think that it just continues one after another after another.
That's just it's the way it's going right now, and they're going to have to do something about it.
The 3-2. Bounced to second. Kipnis throws him out. A 10-run second for the Twins. Oh, 10-1, bottom of the second inning. And for the Indians, Shelley Duncan, Jose Lopez, Lou Marson. Tribe loaded them up with nobody out in the first. They hit into a double play and netted just 1 run. Meantime, Minnesota went to bat in the top of the second and sent 13 men to the plate and scored 10 runs. It's just staggering how this just doesn't seem to have any end in sight for the Indians.
Well, it's hard to put it in words. I mean, you're sitting here watching it, and you every day you come out, you think it's going to turn around, and the same thing keeps happening. I mean, Diamond has been good this year, but they've treated him with run support. He's had 6.7 runs per game when he's pitched, and that certainly helps. Well, today they did that in 1 inning and then some, giving him 10 runs. He gave up more base runners in the bottom half of the first than he did all last start, but he got out of it.
Duncan drills it foul. Duncan looks at a ball inside and a full count. Duncan at .222 average now on the year. 9 homers, 25 driven in. Slowly chopped towards short. Barehand attempt by Dozier, can't come up with it.
He had time too. I think he could have went to the glove there instead of just trying to barehand it. It looked like Duncan swung at a ball, but this guy doesn't walk anybody, so you figure he's going to throw you a strike. Watch it. He had time to go to that glove and maybe get him, but he had no chance there. He doesn't feel the clean. It could be a base hit for Duncan.
By the way, the 10-run second inning for Minnesota, one off their franchise record of 11. Last time they did that was 1994. Now strike to Jose Lopez. Bounce to third. Carroll to second for one. On to first. A double play. 5-4-3 all the way around the horn they go.
Well, let's take a look at the Home Depot Twins defense now that we have an opportunity. Willingham in left, Span in center, Revere in right. Carroll at third, Dozier at short, Nishioka at second. Morneau is at first, Domet behind the plate. More savings, more doing. That's the power of Home Depot. Second double play in as many innings.
And Lou Marson takes a strike. League leaders brought to you by your Cleveland Akron area Lexus dealers. That was coming into tonight. And the one thing to remember with McAllister, only 2 of the 10 runs that he gave up tonight will be earned.
I don't think that's going to make him feel any better.
Nope. But it won't change that ERA number much.
Yeah.
Marson strikes out and the Indians go quickly. 2 complete, 10-1 Twins. Just a reminder as you enjoy a cold one to stay tuned later in the game for Miller Time, brought to you by Miller Lite. We go to the third. 10-1 Minnesota. Brian Dozier, Jamie Carroll, Denard Span coming up for the Twins. And Josh Tomlin with a curveball for ball one. Dozier struck out his first time up. Hit on the ground at third. Lopez plants and throws. Got him. One away. Well, let's send it down right now to Katie Witham.
Well, Matt, next time you're out here at the ballpark, make sure to take advantage of those classic combo deals. You can get the Hot Dog Classic, a Sugardale all-beef hot dog, a 16-ounce Pepsi, and a popcorn, or the Brat Classic combo, a Brat and a 12-ounce beer. Both of those combos, just $8. Log on to Indians.com to get more information. Guys.
Jamie Carroll takes a strike. He walked and scored in the second inning.
Yeah, this is where it started to fall apart for Zach after he had the 2 outs and then 4 straight pitches to him, and he fell behind Span 3-0.
The 0-2 a little bit outside with that cutter. Grounded to third, and Lopez throws it over, 2 down. Take a look at the AT&T trivia question tonight. Highest career batting average among players whose career began after World War II. We'll have the answer coming up later in the game. Denard Span reached on an error his last time up, and that was a critical error in the second inning. Hits one to Kipnis again, and this time no problem at first. Twins go 1-2-3. They lead it 10-1. Ezekiel Carrera will lead off the home half of the third for the Tribe here. Scott Diamond's pitch is down low for ball one. Carrera, since getting the call up, has gone 7 for 12. With a homer, 2 triples.
Had a great series in Detroit. Really did. A couple of triples in one game. Hit the home run yesterday at the end of a back-to-backer.
Over the head of Diamond. Nishioka off balance throw and scooped out by Morneau for out number 1. Here's our great clip of the game from yesterday. Rick just talked about it. The second of back-to-back homers. Carrera giving the Indians what we thought was a pretty good cushion at that point. Great clips. It's gonna be great.
Mighty quick on an inside heater off Benoit. That was about 95 miles per hour and turned on it.
Now Kipnis drives one to left. Back goes Willingham. 2 away. Let's send it back to the Hyundai Studios right now for an in-game update with Al Pulowski.
All right, Matt, Rick, let's go to Detroit. Tigers taking on the Yankees, and the Tigers on the board first here in the second inning. It's Prince Fielder against Nova, sending that one out. And the Tigers added another one just now. Miguel Cabrera, solo homer in the bottom of the fourth. So it's 2-0 Tigers, bottom of the fourth, behind Verlander. Matt?
All right, thanks, Al. Here is Cabrera looking at a ball up high as Drupal a base hit his first time up.
Ouch. Right down onto the hand of Mauer. Or excuse me, Domit. Trying to get some feeling. Watch it. Just a deflection goes straight down and catches him on the hand. Boom. That's an open fist. Usually they tell you to get that fist behind you. Down there underneath that leg. He had it out. And it found it.
Knuckle grazer.
Yeah. Yeah, they're giving him some time.
There's a strike called and a ball and 2 strikes to count on Cabrera. Tried to hold up, but he went around. Second strikeout for Diamond. The Indians go 1-2-3. 3 complete. 10-1 Twins. 10-1 Minnesota as we go now to the 4th inning. That's blooped towards center. Brantley, a long run in. Nobody can get there.
Not when you're as hot as this guy.
Ben Revere's second hit tonight.
Yeah, kept his streak going. He's got a 20-game hitting streak and then just found some green grass. You know, the Twins in their last 10 games as a team, they've averaged. They've pitched well, and they're scoring 122 runs. They now have 132. And that's was second behind the Angels, who had 130. I'm putting the 10 on tonight. They have 132 since the All-Star break.
Joe Mauer takes a strike. 2-run double his last time up. Just missed inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. He missed with an off-speed pitch, down and in. With Revere at first, nobody out, 2-1 offering coming. And Mauer looks outside corner, 2-2. Tomlin deals. And a full count. Payoff pitch. Driven deep to left. Carrera on the run. Makes a fine running catch. And that's going to send Revere back to first base, 1 down.
Long way to go for Carrera, but on his glove hand side, makes a nice catch.
Injury report brought to you by Elk and Elk, serious lawyers for serious injuries. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. Twins got some injury problems. They've had them all season long. Josh Willingham homered and walked so far tonight. Takes a strike.
Yeah, we saw a couple of starting pitchers on that disabled list for the Twins, and that's where they've started to play better because their starters have a .250 ERA in their last 10 games. When they can get decent pitching, they have a good enough offense that can score runs.
Ron Gardenhire's club mired in the cellar for a lot of this season, but they're playing very good baseball right now. Winners in 7 of their last 10. They're just 3 games behind the Indians now for third place in the division.
Well, and they're looking to get to that 500 mark in the Central Division. They're 20-21 coming into this game, and You know, these guys, they always battle you. They never quit. They never give up. The Indians now 19-25 in the Central. And they started out the year where they had a good record. They were playing very well.
They started out 3-0 against Minnesota. They started out 5-0 against Detroit. They started out 4-0 against Kansas City. They won 4 out of their first 7 against the White Sox. Since then, they've gone 0-5 against the Twins, 0-5 against the Sox, lost 5 out of 7 to Detroit, and 7 out of 8 to Kansas City.
Wow. You talk about a turnaround. That's in your division where you make
division.
your hay.
Yeah. Willingham strikes out 2 down. I think the hard thing for anyone to figure out, if you're Chris Antonetti, if you're a decision maker, if you're trying to figure out, under Eric Wedge, Indians teams were always slow to start, but always finish strong. You know, he'd get them going, and they'd always finish strong. Now, Manny Acton, now the last 2 years, they've gone off to terrific starts, but somewhere along the line, last year, I know a lot of us, you know, we all looked at it and said, boy, injuries killed this team. And I think that's not just an excuse. That's a very real explanation.
Yeah,
for
you were
what
missing some guys
year.
out of the middle part of that lineup that couldn't hit, and a lot of guys were, young kids getting a chance.
But this year, injury is really not part of the equation, and yet the same thing has happened. Only it's happened more rapidly than it did a year ago.
It's been a free fall.
Yes.
You don't go out and lose 8 straight or 9 straight. On the verge of make it 10, double digits today, down 10-1. That's a free fall. I mean, and prior to this streak, the most they ever won in a row was 4. Most they ever lost was 5 prior to this streak. You know, they couldn't get on a roll, but they were always consistent. They always battled. They always stayed above the 500 mark. But this has taken them right out of it. I think that's probably the most disappointing thing of it all. And the second half, after All-Star break, it has been a downward spiral.
The 0-2. Missed outside. Yeah, since the All-Star break.
6 and 17.
Yeah. The offense all but
not
disappeared.
Pitching, yeah, not pitching and not hitting. That's a bad combination.
Oh, boy. Morneau just destroyed one. Way back and gone for Morneau. His second home run tonight. And the 4th home run of the game for Minnesota. And that 2-out, 2-run shot makes it 12-1 Twins.
Now, that was a tumbler there. That looked like it was about up in his eyes. So a big night for Morneau. It's his 15th. Watch this one. Up there at the letters of 74 mile an hour. That was like a slow pitch softball. And Morneau's Canadian. He likes that softball pitch. He hit it and hit it a long way.
Driven foul on the right side. Just a bit outside. High pop on the infield. They're coming in for it. Cabrera's there. He's got it. Inning over. Justin Morneau with his 200th career home run just one day after Travis Hafner hit his 200th career homer as the Twins sitting pretty. In Minnesota, bottom of the fourth inning. And it will be Chu, Santana, and Brantley coming up for the Indians. And Chu with the base hit his first time up. Will lead off here in the fourth. Diamond gave up an unearned run in the first. That's been it. A couple of double play balls behind him.
Well, and right now, starting the fourth inning, he is at 36 pitches. So those double plays certainly help, but this guy's efficient. He throws strikes. He doesn't walk people. This is his third start against the Indians this year. And he's pitched, 19 innings and no walks yet.
What I want to know, does Rick Anderson take all the young Twins pitchers and put them under hypnosis in his office, put them on the couch, and swing a little medallion, and you will not walk batters?
It has been that way for years, where in Minnesota, where, they're normally last in the league in walks and giving up walks. And I mean, they have been that way. They may give up more hits than anybody in the league, and then they're going to make you hit your way on. That goes back into the days with Brad Radke and, a lot of the guys that they had, and that's just the way they do it, which is, that's a great way. You look at the Twins this year, their ERA coming into today was just a smudge below the Indians. The Indians came in 478, they're 480, but they've walked 294 people, which is tied for best in the league. The Indians have walked 380.
Wow. That's almost 100 more base runners.
That's right. And I mean, that's a huge difference. 100 more base runners. And when you look and let's see, giving up hits, they've given up 1,040 hits, and the Indians have come in given up 985 into this game. So, I mean, that's 60. 60 right there. So, I mean, it even out, but you got to hit your way on. You don't give free passes. That's how the Indians' offense this year, I think, made a lot of their hay, was getting free base runners, from other ball clubs. And, I mean, it's nice when you can work a pitcher, but when you've got a strike thrower like this, I think you have to be a little more aggressive. You can't sit back and wait for him to go deep in a count, because the next thing you know, you're 0-2 and he expands the zone on you. There's certain pitchers you can do that with, not this guy.
Well, and where the Indians, you talk about making hay, they took advantage of the walks, and they hit in the clutch for the first 2 months of the season. Whether it was runners in scoring position with 2 outs, or 2 outs, nobody on base, and all of a sudden they'd get a couple of base runners and cash in. They did a lot of that early.
Yes, they did.
Hard to sustain. It's not exactly the kind of offense that you're going to have all season long.
No, every team goes through it. You get hot and you can score some runs. But
where they haven't been able to take advantage is a situation like they had in the first inning. Bases loaded, nobody out.
Yes.
Just get a couple. They haven't been able to do that.
No, runners in scoring position, they've been bad as a team. And your RBI guys have really been bad. You talk about 2-out runs. They've given up, 22 runs in the last 2 games. 18 have come with 2 outs. So they just, I mean, you have chances to get out of innings and you're giving up runs. When you do that as a team, it's a good thing offensively. You get a little confidence. They haven't been able to generate any confidence.
No.
Because they haven't been able to score and nobody's hitting in the clutch. The long ball, the home runs, they come. Twins have 4 tonight.
Brantley scorches one to deep right over the head of Ben Revere. And that makes its way to the fence, and Brantley's into second base with a 2-out double.
That was scorch. That's a good word for it, because that ball, you could hang clothes on it. It was a line drive over the head of Revere. I mean, he threw him a fastball down and in, and Michael just turned on a beautiful swing. Watch this. Get out of here. And that ball got out to the wall in a hurry. So Michael with a double. That'll be his 33rd this year.
He equals Chu in that category, and they are both tied for second in the American League behind Alex Gordon.
Michael's the one, he can handle left-handers. This is a guy you may want to move up in the lineup against a left-hander. See, that's where Chu has struggled this year in the number 3 hole against left-handers. Right-handers, he's fine. I have no problem with that. Left-handers,
yeah.
Brantley puts a better swing on the ball and gives you a better at-bat.
Shelley Duncan looks at ball one. Base hit his first time up on a little infield single. Duncan looks down low, 2-0. See, John Adams has moved back to the bleachers. He didn't last long in the.
Oh, it was a 1 inning? Oh, after the second inning, he was booted.
Yeah. Strike call to Shelley Duncan. He's gone back to his normal seat. $12 runs, 9 hits for Minnesota, 1 run, 4 hits for the Indians. Each team has committed an error. Down and in. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning, and Scott Diamond at 50 pitches on the night. 30 of those have been for strikes. Out of play. 3 balls, 2 strikes with 2 down and a runner at second here in the 4th. Diamond's payoff pitch. Hit hard to third, knocked down by Carroll. But he throws him out to end the inning. 4 complete. 12-1 Minnesota. By Panini's with 17 locations in Northeast Ohio. By Levin's, home of the Sealy Posturepedic mattress made right here in Northeast Ohio. By Kia, Cleveland.com. And by First Merit Bank. All right, we're going out of the 5th inning. Nishioka, Dozier, and Carroll for the Twins, bottom third of the order. And Josh Tomlin misses outside ball one. Swung on and missed. The 1-1. Missed inside. Tomlin ready with the 2-2 now. And Nishioka, deep right field, down the line and foul. Browns training camp daily returns tonight after the game. Jim Donovan, Mary Kay, Andre Knott, they've got all the latest news from Berea. Donovan will talk with Sheldon Brown. Pat Shurmur's decision to name Brandon Whedon the starter. It's all coming up on STO after the ballgame. Three-two count. Payoff pitch. And that's going to slice foul out of play. Again, the payoff pitch, and Nishioka pops it up. Shallow left, Carrera is there. And we've got one out in the fifth. Minor league report brought to you by University Hospitals. Roberto Hernandez in an 8-1 loss yesterday went 7 1/3, did allow 4 runs, but he only walked 1, struck out 9. I think his next start will be the day before he's eligible to come off baseball's restricted list. So look at it. If you look ahead, his next start would be on that road trip, potentially in Oakland.
Well, or they skip that day and they can bring him up here the next time and pitch him here. What's he, August 11th?
Yeah, but he's pitching on the 10th, so 11, 12,
well,
13,
he
14.
is for
He's
sure.
Scheduled to go on the 15th. So that could be in. Actually, could be scheduled to go in Anaheim. Right back to the mound to Tomlin. Throws him out 2 down. But you're right, they could give him another start after that, and then coming up on the next homestand, you got the Yankees in Oakland, Texas.
I was saying don't even start him here on the Friday. He could come up here for the weekend with Boston. Don't know if he's ready to go yet.
See what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm saying push him back another day
Yeah.
and pitch here against Boston. The way the starters have been going, would it matter?
I can't really say that it would.
I wouldn't think it would, so maybe they could.
Jamie Carroll walked and scored in the second. He bounced out in the third. Popped him up on the infield. Kipnis is there, and Tomlin works a 1-2-3. Fifth inning. 12-1, Minnesota on top. Bottom third of the Indians order coming up here. Lopez, Marson, Carrera. Outside. Scott Diamond, 4 innings of work. 4 hits, 1 unearned run allowed. And a base hit in the right field for Lopez, and the Indians get their leadoff man aboard. Well, a game recap brought to you by your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers. Minnesota, in the second inning, sent 13 men to the plate. Willingham and Morneau hit back-to-back homers. Bauer had a 2-run double. Ryan Doman hit a 3-run homer. And Minnesota has basically knocked the stuffing out of the Indians here tonight. Find out about more than 30 Toyota offers available now at buyatoyota.com. Up high. Fastball strike outside corner. 2-1.
Boy, he's done that every time. And I think when he falls behind and he gets to a 2-0 count, he goes right to that outside corner and he can command that. He can command that fastball and put it right there. I think it's happened about 4 times tonight.
Top of the strike zone, but a little bit too high. 3-1. Marson shoots it on the ground to second base. Nishioka to Dozier. Dozier back to Morneau. Double play. That's the 3rd double play that the Indians have hit into here tonight. And we'll go back to the Hyundai Studios for this in-game update with Al Pulaski.
Hey, man, let's go to Chicago. White Sox taking on Kansas City. A.J. Pierzynski now has at least 1 extra base hit in 7 consecutive games. Here's his double tonight. In the bottom of the second inning, it scores Alex Rios. Chicago leads KC 1-0. They're now on the top of the 3rd on Chicago's south side. Matt?
All right, thanks, Al. Pitch outside to Ezekiel Carrera, who grounded out his first time up. And a chopper foul over toward the Twins dugout. White Sox lead the Royals 1-0. They're in the 3rd in Chicago. West Coast battle should be fun tonight. Angels in Oakland that battle the A's.
Oh, boy.
Tigers lead the Yankees 5-2 in the 6th. Red Sox over the Rangers 5-1 in the 5th.
That is a good game. Oakland just a half a game ahead of the Angels in the standings. 58-50. Angels 58-51. Some pretty good pitching going to be going on there.
Well, you bet.
Weaver against Parker. Down in the dirt, 2-2. And he misses low. Remember how bad Seattle started out this year? They've won 8 out of their last 10. They're only a game behind the Indians in terms of overall record.
Who's that?
Seattle.
Yeah.
One hop smash to first. Morneau knocks it down, takes it himself, and the inning is over. 5 complete.
Pause for the Subway Extreme Fan Zone to an upcoming home game. It's the place to be for a chance to win Subway gift cards, Indians fun money, and get great discounts on your next Subway purchase. Subway, where winners eat.
Sixth inning, and for the Indians, they go to the bullpen. Josh Tomlin tried to eat up a few innings. He went 3 1/3, and now Tony Sipp coming on for the 45th time this year. Denard Span 0 for 3 tonight. Looks at a ball up high. Josh Tomlin tonight in his 3 1/3 inning. He only gave up 3 hits, but 2 of those were home runs. Hit on the ground to first. Santana goes himself 1 away. Time now to get the answer to the AT&T trivia question. Highest career batting average among players who started after World War II.
Tony Gwynn. Yeah, that guy, he could find some spaces out there. There's no doubt about that. Terrific hitter.
Wow. Revere hit the dirt. That ball up and in. A little too close for comfort. He's hit in 20 straight games with a 2-hit performance tonight.
Yeah, that'll make you move your feet.
There's Tony Gwynn's 3,000th hit. 1999 on this date up in Olympic Stadium in Montreal.
Picked that ball up right off the ground, didn't he?
Foul ball as Santana made a sprawling effort for it.
Well, you can see he just missed that ball. Hit it very hard. He had a little hook to it.
And the 2-2 to Revere. Out of play. Check swing.
How about this
Rolls
guy?
it to third. Lopez off balance throw.
This
Can't
guy,
get him.
He's
Third
hotter.
hit of the night.
Hotter than a firecracker. Look at him. He checked his swing, and his wheels got this one because Lopez was playing off the line, which he should. There's 2 strikes. Checks his swing and just gets down the line and beats it out for another hit. 3rd straight hit for Revere. Look at that little slider. Oh, I'm going to check my swing. Got a late jump. See where Lopez is at. He gets it, gets rid of it as quickly as he could, and the speed beats it out. Little bloop in there, hit 3 hits. He's rolling.
Joe Mauer 1 for 3. 2-run double in the second inning. For Mauer, just his 4th hit in his last 28 at-bats, but it was a big one that kept the momentum rolling for the Twins as they scored 10 runs in the second. That's clubbed up the alley. That'll go into the fence. And Brantley there to pick it up. Revere comes all the way around to score. And it's a baker's dozen for Minnesota. Mauer with his 22nd double of the year. And his 3rd RBI tonight gives him 56 on the year.
Yeah, he just sets a fastball right there, middle in, 89 miles an hour by Sip, and he just turns on it. Mauer's a guy that he waits on the ball and tries to hit it the other way, but he pitched him inside. Hit it right where it was pitched, plugs the gap. Rivera comes around to score, makes it 13-1. The second double for Morneau.
You know, Josh Willingham has homered, walked, and struck out. Takes a strike. Josh Willingham now on pace to do something that only Harmon Killebrew has done in a Twins uniform, and that's kind of hard to believe. Nobody's hit more than 40.
Well, you would think that maybe in that Metrodome, like a Ken Herbeck or a left-hander would do that, but no, it hasn't happened. It's a lot of home runs.
Well, even more no. You know, you thought somewhere along the line he would have had a 40-homer year maybe, but hasn't happened.
That's a lot of home runs when you sit down and think about it. The killer did it, what, 7 times?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had as many as 49. Did that in 1969. Also in 64.
He was just one of those guys, one of the nicest men in the world. At the little short arms you couldn't get inside on, but he was like Popeye. Such a strong guy. And a short swing and could hit it a long way. The old Met, they had balls that were marked where they were hit. Oh, gosh, yes.
Josh Willingham is out looking. 2 down in the inning. Our highlight reel brought to you by your Northeast Ohio Ford dealers. Josh Willingham led off the 2nd inning with a solo homer. Justin Morneau, the very next man up, also drilled a solo blast. And then later in the inning, Ryan Domit, a 3-run job. All in the 2nd inning. All part of a 10-run Minnesota second. Justin Morneau has homered twice here tonight.
Yeah, what a night he has had.
4 ribbies.
Yep. 3 for 3, 4 ribs. Scored 3. Pair of homers. The way that this guy's been going the last few years, they didn't know what they would be able to count on from him this year with the way he's been hurt with the concussions. Didn't know what they were going to get. Right now, he's putting together a pretty good year. 15 homers on it, 54 ribbies, hitting the batting average is up to 276.
Fouled away. Morneau to center. Brantley back. Still going back. Makes the over-the-shoulder catch to end the inning. Minnesota adds one more. They lead it 13-1. 13-1, Minnesota on top. Top of the order for the Indians. It'll be Kipnis, Cabrera, and Chu.
I want to send out a birthday wish to Bill Duffield, who is turning 75 today. He is from Canal Fulton. Loyal Tribe fan. I hope you're still watching, Bill. Happy birthday to you.
Kipnis with a line drive single into left field. The Indians get their leadoff man aboard for the second inning in a row.
There you go. Get aggressive early. You got the fastball, stayed inside of it, takes it to left field. Hit number 6 now for the Tribe. First for Kipnis. Remember, he came around to score in the first inning after the error from Nishioka.
There's a pop up to center field, and Denard Span will settle under that. One away.
Come on down to the ballpark on Thursday. That'll be the start of a 4-game series against the Boston Red Sox. It'll be Dollar Dog Night, courtesy of Sugardale. 7 o'clock start. Log on to Indians.com for your tickets. It'll be a busy weekend. Gaylord Perry bobblehead on Sunday. Saturday, you've got a luncheon that starts at 11 o'clock for the Hall of Fame luncheon, where Perry will be inducted. Of course, we've got fireworks on Friday night.
Make sure you log on to Indians.com/HOF lunch, Hall of Fame lunch. Get your seats.
Saturday at 11.
Yeah, that should be fun. Sam McDowell, Gaylord Perry, Thunder, Grover, Sandy, Kenny.
Bobby D will have a round table going on.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
Didn't go around, says third base ump James Hoy. Pitch to Chu, swung on and missed. He went fishing. Game up empty, 2 down. Just the third strikeout for Diamond.
Yeah, pitch to contact type of guy.
All right, take away what the Twins have done tonight offensively, and it's really the same game he pitched against the Indians in Minnesota.
Yeah,
a few more base runners, a few more hits, but he's had them frustrated and off balance just like he did in Minnesota.
He's not going to strike you out. He wants you to put the ball in play. He has the 3 double plays tonight. He only had 3 hits. He threw 98 pitches in that start. Tonight it's bottom of the 6th. He has 75. But, I mean, this is a rookie making a start against a team where you have to make adjustments against the guy. You know how he pitched to the time before. He's really not going to change his pattern until you prove you can do something different, and they haven't been able to. They've got the 1 double, which is Michael Brantley. But other than that, it's all singles.
Yeah. A little bit high. And it's 2-1.
It's a good pitch. See, Santana doesn't like it, but any time he has had to go and throw a strike. It's been that pitch right there. Fastball down and away to the right-hander for a strike on the outside corner. Right there.
The 2-2. And it's in the dirt. Doman can't retrieve it quick enough. And Kipnis down to second base on the wild pitch.
You know, that's his 8th of the year, so yeah, I'm sure he throws that curveball a number of times in a situation men on base. Right there. Doman can't keep it in front of him, so heads up. Kipnis goes to second.
High drive, deep left center field. Span looking up, and gone. Carlos Santana's 12th home run of the year. A 2-out, 2-run shot here in the 6th inning. And it's a 13-3 ball game.
So the Indians get a home run. And you see this is up, way up there, about above belt high. Santana gets on top of it, and he figured, okay, 3-2, I'm going to sit on it. Boy, he gets it and hits it a long way. For Santana, his 12th homer.
Michael Brantley doubled his last time up. And Brantley drives one to center, but it's right in the tracks of Span. And the inning is over. 6 complete. 13-3 Minnesota.
your tickets for this Friday's game. Not only will the Boston Red Sox be in town, but also the next fireworks show of the season is this Friday. It will be set to the music of A Summer of Love. If you buy your tickets now, you can save. While you're online at Indians.com, make sure to check out those transportation options the Tribe have for you now. You can get guaranteed parking in the Gateway Garage, $1 shuttles from Ohio City, and then also you can pick up a family pass on the RTA rail service. Again, it's all online for you right now at Indians.com. Matt, Rick, we'll send it back over to you guys.
All right, thanks a lot, Katie. 13-3 Minnesota. Cody Allen coming on for the 7th time this year. And defensively now for the Indians, a few changes. Jack Hanahan has come in for his Drupal Cabrera. He'll be at shortstop. Brent Lillibridge goes into the game in left field, and Ezekiel Carrera slides over to center, so Michael Brantley is out of the ball game. Ryan Dohm at 2 for 3, a double and a 3-run homer tonight. Hot smash to first. Santana smothers it. The flip from his knees, and Cody Allen is there to take the throw for out number 1. Good defensive effort there by Santana.
Well, it really was. That ball, extra base hit. It's going to be our McDonald's. I'm loving it. Good play. That's a double down the line if it gets by him. And look at Allen get over there, the flip up, and just beats him to the bag. Good play.
Nishioka. Oh for 3 on the night. Nishioka made 2 of the 3 outs in that 10-run Twins second inning. Big curveball up high. Three and 1 to count. Same 2 teams tomorrow night. Corey Kluber, Samuel DeDuno. Kluber had a disastrous first inning in his first start with the Tribe against Kansas City, but bounced back and pitched well after that. DeDuno, meanwhile, is 3-0 with a 2.48 ERA for the Twins. Three-two pitch, swung on and missed. 2 down. Back to the Hyundai Studios we go for this in-game update with Al Pulaski.
Well, Matt, the Rangers 5.5 up in the West, but tonight they're having trouble in Boston. Dustin Pedroia, a big night so far. 3 for 4 with 3 doubles. Here's one to knock in a run back in the 4th inning. Boston's up 6-1 behind Aaron Cook. They're in the bottom of the 7th inning at Fenway Park. Matt?
All right, here is Brian Dozier, 0 for 3 on the night. And a called strike, 1-1 to count.
It's a pretty good hook right there by the young man.
Another one, just missing. Cody Allen ready now with a 2-2. And a fastball misses low. Full count. And the right-hander's payoff pitch. Challenged him. It's back out of play. And the 3-2 is hit out of play again. Tigers taken to the Yankees at home tonight, 7-2. They've banged out a dozen hits, have Detroit. They're in the 7th inning. Boston leads Texas 6-1 on the 7th at Fenway. Fouled away again. Kansas City, Chicago tied 1-1 in the 5th at U.S. Cellular.
He's just slapping him foul. He's not trying to do much with it. He's throwing the fastball, and he's just fouling him off.
9th pitch of the at-bat. And then he ends up with a walk. So 2 on, 1 out, and it's going to bring up Jamie Carroll. Strike to Carroll. And once again, Cody Allen 1 strike away from ending the inning. The 1-2. And again, it's just fouled back. Fly ball center field. This should end the inning. Carrera is there. He's got it. And we've reached the 7th inning stretch, brought to you by the Cleveland Clinic and the free walking program. Let's Move It. Mondays at Progressive Field and the Metro Park Zoo. Visit letsmoveit.org for more information. inning, get a look in from our Panini's camera. Stop by and get overstuffed at Panini's Bar and Grill. For the Indians, Shelley Duncan will lead off. Then Jose Lopez and Lou Marson. 85 pitches for Scott Diamond through 6 innings. Just down low with it. Looks like Esmail Rogers will be coming on now for the Indians. Way out in front of it, 1-2. And a high pop right at the plate. The catcher dome it in foul ground, 1 away. Well, Carlos Santana's home run means Rick and I each make a donation of $5 more to the Gathering Place, while Great Clips donates $50, and we're up to $59.40 on the year. Great needs, great deeds, Great Clips. Log on to touchbycancer.org to learn more about the Gathering Place. Lopez with a high drive deep to left. Willingham back looking up, and he makes a great catch. We've seen him make a couple of nice, very nice catches in deep left field so far this year.
Boy, Lopez hit it about as good as you can, and right at the fence he jumps up and takes him. You look at him as a hitter and he figures, maybe I did. I think you know as a hitter when you hit it, but right there in front of the fence he makes the catch. That will go as out number 2.
Two balls, no strikes. Jeff Gray getting loose for Minnesota. And he walked Marson on 4 straight with 2 down. And it will bring up Ezekiel Carrera.
That's his first walk in 22 2/3 innings against the Tribe this year. For Scott Diamond, it's his 8th straight start where he has gone more than 6 innings. And the young rookie, he is pitching well for Minnesota.
Carrera 0 for 2 tonight. And a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Hey, Michael Regai returns for another season of Subway Browns postgame live. Tune in Friday night after the Browns-Lions game. He'll take your calls and emails and have post-game player interviews, press conferences. Subway Browns post-game live Friday night after the Browns and the Lions. Pretty good looking pitch right there.
Yeah, it certainly was.
13-3 game. I know the score's not supposed to matter, but
no, I thought it was a pretty good pitch.
That was definitely low, and a full count now for Carrera. And a 3-2 hit on the ground to second. And a routine bouncer for Nishioka. We go to the 8th. Twins by 10.
The authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians.
(13-3) Twins on top. We go to the 8th inning. And for Minnesota, top of the order coming up here. Esmiel Rogers coming on for the Indians. He's the 5th Indians pitcher to work here tonight. He worked 2 2/3 the other night in Detroit, Saturday night. He was the only player on the Indians' 25-man roster who did not appear in yesterday's game against the Tigers. However, had that game gone to extra innings, it would have either been him. Had a game gone to an 11th inning, it would have either been him or
Perez would have had to stay out there.
Or a starter, maybe.
Yeah.
Denard Span, 0 for 4. Off the glove of Rogers to Kipnis. He went to the bare hand attempt, couldn't come up with it cleanly.
That'll be Span's first hit of the night. He tops it. Once it goes off the glove, Kipnis felt, I got to barehand it to get it over there. He doesn't field it cleanly. It would have been tough because Span can get down the line as well, so he realized it.
Well, this guy is hitting everything in sight, and he's got his 4th hit of the ball game. Ben Revere with a 20-game hit streak and a 4-hit night in the series opener.
4 straight singles for him. This one was legit, man. This is Right under the feet of Rogers.
Box score brought to you by your Northern Ohio Hyundai dealers, who invite you to come see the all-new 2012 Sonata. Visit NorthernOhioHyundaiDealers.com today. Two on, nobody out for Joe Mauer. He has 2 hits, both of them doubles, 3 runs driven in. Fifth 4-hit game of Ben Revere's career. It's 2-0 to Mauer. Three balls, no strikes. You know, if you're wondering, as the Indians are headed to their 10th consecutive defeat, back in 2009, they had an 11-game losing streak. The year before that, remember, they had a 10-game losing streak, and then later in the year had a 10-game winning streak.
I do remember that. That's hard to do. Lose 10 in a year and also win 10.
Yeah. Three-one pitch. That's going to go foul and out of play. You played on a couple teams that did that?
Yeah, I played on one here in Cleveland that did it, and I played also on one in Milwaukee. The one in Milwaukee was different. We won 13 to start the year out. The next month later in May, I think we lost 12.
That is to do it that close together.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
I mean, how can you play on a team that wins 13 and then you lose 12 the next month?
Same guys, right?
Yeah.
Line drive, single to left. Span stops at third, and the bases are loaded.
That's 3 straight hits there.
Yeah. So Minnesota looking to add to what is already an embarrassing 10-run margin. Josh Willingham, the batter, 1 for 3 tonight. He homered back in the second. It was his home run that started that 10-run avalanche in the second inning.
Yeah, he is. Look at that year, 29 home runs. That's his.
Slowly chopped to second. Kipnis will flip to second. They'll get the force there. Run scores. And so Willingham gets his second RBI of the night, his 83rd of the year. As promised earlier, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Justin Morneau having a big night. Solo homer in the second, RBI single later in that same inning, and then a 2-run homer in the fourth. Fly to deep center his last time up. Banged foul. Nice grab with the hat.
With the cap.
The cap grab.
Yeah. Well done. Watch this. Sticks out there right into the hat. He can't believe it. Puts it on and gives it away. Good job.
Missed inside. 1-on-1 to count. 14-3 Minnesota. Double play ball to second. Kipnis to Hanahan. On to Santana. That'll end the inning. Twins pick up a run. We'll go to the last half of the 8th. Minnesota by 11. Bottom of the 8th, top of the order coming up for the Indians. Scott Diamond's night is over. He went 7 innings, allowed 2 earned runs on 7 hits, walked 1, struck out 3, and looking for his 10th win of the year. He'll be relieved tonight by Jeff Gray, who is making his 42nd appearance of the season. And he's got Jason Kipnis, Brent Lillibridge, and Shin-Soo Choo coming up for the Tribe. Hey, don't miss the 2012 high school charity games. They're going to take place Saturday, August 25th at Brown Stadium at 2 o'clock. It's North Royalton and Brecksville. Then at 7, it's a Battle of Champs, Division III state titleist Cardinal Mooney squares off against St. Ignatius. Tickets just $10 for both games and on sale at the schools, Ticketmaster, and the Browns ticket office. First pitch strike to Jason Kipnis, who singled and scored his last time up. Back out of play. Looping liner foul. That's going to get down just in front of the seats. And a scramble for it. Ditka helped him out on that one. Struck him out with a high heater. 1 down in the 8th. Kansas City's got in front of Chicago 2-1 there in the 7th at U.S. Cellular Field. That's Chris Sale in that game, huh? Against Luis Mendoza. Boston beating up Texas 7-1 at Fenway there in the 8th there. Tigers lead the Yankees 7-2 in the 8th in Detroit. Nishioka on the infield, 2 down. as Brent Lillibridge pops up and pops out quickly. Going to bring up Shin-Soo Choo. Over in the National League, the Pittsburgh Pirates lead Arizona in the ninth 4-0. They're 4.5 games behind front-running Cincinnati in the NL Central. And the Pirates still very much alive in that wild card hunt. They're a half game behind Atlanta for the top wild card position. Milwaukee leads Cincinnati 1-0 in the 6th inning at Miller Park. San Francisco trailing St. Louis 2-1. They're in the 6th at Busch. San Fran with a half game lead over the Dodgers to start the night in the NL West. Both of those teams had won 3 straight. Dodgers at home later against Colorado. Chu, hard hit ball up the middle. Backhanded by Nishioka, but he can't make it stick in the glove. And an infield hit for Chu to keep the inning alive. I'm not sure, even if the ball would have stayed in his glove, if he'd have been able to set his feet in time to throw it. He was really going hard up the middle for the ball.
Well, after we saw the way Casilla played the second base in Minnesota, that's an E. They gave him an error.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 2 on the night, and he has both of them, Nishioka.
Santana 1 for 3 on the night. 2-run homers last time up. Outside ball 1. Up high. Justin Verlander started for Detroit tonight against New York. He struck out 14 Yankees hitters.
Oh, boy.
Way out in front, 1 and 2.
You know, he certainly has the capabilities with his stuff.
And if the Royals hang on and beat Chicago, the Tigers would close to within a half game. But Chicago's having one of those years where who knows what still could happen. They're in the 7th in that game.
Yeah, they're at home. You're right. And
they found some magical ways to win.
Yes, they have.
Runner goes, and it's ball 4. 2 on, 2 out. And Jack Hanahan's coming up. We're in the 8th inning, and it's 14-3 Minnesota. Hit well, deep center. Back goes Span. Still going back. Has a beat on it and makes the catch. 8 in the books. Minnesota 14, Cleveland 3. inning. Joe Smith coming on now to work for the Tribe after Esmiel Rogers went 1 inning, giving up a run on 3 hits. Joe Smith will be facing the 6, 7, and 8 hitters, Ryan Domit, Tsuyoshi Nishioka, and Brian Dozier. And a first pitch strike to Domit, whose 3-run homer capped a 10-run second inning for Minnesota. It's Drew Butera, my bad. He's getting a chance to bat here for Domit. A little pinch hit action.
Yeah, Tommy's up talking. He should have told you that. He's giving you enough cards tonight for everything else. Get a pinch hitter and you never hear from the guy.
He's getting ready for Wednesday when he works with the Twins. He's got to gear up.
That's true. He's got to get ready for Bert.
Yeah. Now the 2-2 to Butera, fouled off. Oh, White Sox came back already, 2-2 against the Royals, bottom of the 7th. A little bit low. In on the ground at third, Jose Lopez fires it over. 1 away. Stay tuned after the ball game. The Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care postgame show. Nishioka 0 for 4 tonight. 2 errors defensively. Again, they just called him up when they traded Danny Valencia to the Red Sox yesterday.
Oh, got him, did it?
It sounded like it did, but
sure did.
He's not making a move.
I'll be darned. It sounded like it got him. Obviously, it did not. If he's
very close.
It sounded like it to me.
Sounded like it might have grazed him, but out of play. Perdomo in the bullpen. Not sure. Deep knee bend, maybe. Swung on and missed. It's 2-2. That's drilled to left, but Lillibridge has it 2 down. That'll bring up Brian Dozier. Slider outside by an inch. Two balls and no strikes.
14 runs, 14 hits for Minnesota. Couple errors. They've only left 3 on base. 3 runs, 7 hits, an error, 5 stranded for the Indians. And it's down low, ball 4. So 2 down, a runner at first, and Jamie Carroll will come to the plate. Well, a balk called on Joe Smith, so Dozier goes down to second base. Jamie Carroll walked and scored back in the second. He's 0 for 3 since then. And he taps it foul.
Let's see the flinch here. There the start was, and you know what? Even if you do it, they caught it. He was still looking out there, and he saw him start and stop. Cross up. Let's go talk about this. Man on second base, and Smitty must have forgot about the signals. He was looking for the breaking ball, and he gets a sinker. His glove was going one way, the ball was going another.
The 1-1 pitch, and it's up and away. 2 balls and a strike. Scott Diamond threw 100 pitches in 7 innings for Minnesota tonight. Zach McAllister and Josh Tomlin combined for 113 in 5 innings. Tony Sipp, Cody Allen, Esmail Rogers, now Joe Smith have all followed for the Tribe. So there have been a lot of pitches thrown here tonight because we've seen a lot of 3-2 counts, a lot of foul balls. Even though the Twins have gone 1-2-3 3 different times tonight. Back-to-back walks with 2 out here in the 9th. And now Denard Span. And Denard Span is 1 for 5 in the ballgame. A strike to the outside corner. Inside corner, a strike, and it's 0-2. Now the 2-strike pitch, and Joe Smith steps away. way outside. Smitty ready. The 1-2. Now the 2-2 offering. And it's hit in the air to right. Chu makes the catch to end the inning. Twin strand of pair, bottom of the ninth coming up. All right, some changes now to tell you about for Minnesota. First, a new pitcher, Luis Perdomo. We also have a new catcher, Drew Butera. Darren Mastriani has come on in left field for Willingham. And I guess that's it. Okay, let's go. Shelley Duncan, Jose Lopez, and Lou Marson due up for the Tribe against Luis Perdomo. Shelley Duncan, he is 1 for 3 on the night. He had an infield single back in the second inning. Perdomo with the first pitch strike. Just missing. The attendance tonight, 18,775. And some of the faithful have probably made an early exit a long time ago after Minnesota ran out to a 10-1 lead thanks to a 10-run second inning.
Yeah, and what was that? 7 unearned runs in that inning.
8.
8 unearned?
But who's counting?
Okay, yeah, right. 8 unearned, a 10 spot on the board, and it was 10-1 at that time, and it was looking in the eyes of a 10-game losing streak right there.
Longest Tribe skid since they lost 11 straight back in 09. Duncan with a fly ball to left. And the catch made by Mastriani, 1 away. The Indians will turn to Corey Kluber tomorrow night. He'll go up against Samuel Deduno. Deduno 3-0 at 2.48 ERA. Kluber will be making just his second start for the Indians. We'll have tomorrow night's game for you right here on Sports Time Ohio. Hit on the ground in the hole, a base hit. Lopez reaches.
That breaking ball, he finds it in the hole between short and third. 8th hit.
Lou Marson 0 for 2. Walked his last time up. And takes ball 1. White Sox Royals still tied at 2. They're in the 8th in Chicago. Marson bangs it to third. Jamie Carroll goes to second. Too high on the throw. Everybody's safe. The fielder's choice and an error. The error will be on Jamie Carroll.
That is their 3rd tonight. If he backhands it, they're at least going to get 1, but the throw is high. And as they go up to try and get it, boy, Nishioki's had a tough time tonight out there, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I mean,
not
really,
exactly smooth.
No, not at all. I mean, it wasn't a great throw, but you should still be able to catch it.
Carrera with a 2-0 count. Infield double play depth. Carrera a little tap out in front of the plate.
Fair ball.
Fair ball. Throw it on to second. There's one. Throw to first. Double play. That's going to end the game. And Carrera never ran till it was way too late. And that's the way the Indians' 10th consecutive loss comes to an end tonight here at Progressive Field. The Twins jumped out to an early lead when they scored 10 runs in the 2nd inning. And then it was all over but the shouting at that point. So our final score, Minnesota 14, Cleveland 3, and our play of the game brought to you by KeyBank.
Well, this is one play that, they gave him an extra out right here. The inning would have been over with 2 runs. Kipnis throws the ball to first base. Santana comes off the base. We'll look at it again now. I don't know if it was a bad throw that brought him off or he cheated early to get the foot on the base, but I thought that it should have been out any way you look at it, no matter who they give the error to. That ended up costing the Indians 8 unearned runs in that inning. So a tough play.
Well, our play of the game brought to you by KeyBank. Earn double rewards points during the KeyBank Summer of Rewards. Final numbers: Minnesota 14 runs, 14 hits, 3 errors, 5 men left. For the Indians, 3 runs, 8 hits, 1 error, 6 men stranded. The winning pitcher is Scott Diamond. He's 10-5. The loser, Zach McAllister, drops to 4-4. With the win, Minnesota is 48-61. The Indians drop to 50-59. Time of the game, 3 hours, 1 minute. The attendance, 18,775. We're back with the Conrads postgame show. It's next.